Hey guys, Happy New Year. Welcome back to Hawaii Knife and Gear. Realize it's been kind of a while since I posted anything. Decided to take a little hiatus, but today's the day. I wanted to get caught up and kind of get back into the swing of things here. There's been a lot that happened since the last time I made a video. It's been a couple months at this point, but some good, some not so good, but I will try and get it all out here and get back up to speed and not have this video be 3 hours long. But understand, I've got kind of a ton of stuff that I wanted to show you, and I'm gonna run through it all pretty quick here. That's a small part of why I haven't made a video. It's just, you know how I am. I like to show you guys everything, so when it starts to pile up and I've got so much stuff, it was just kind of a overwhelming thought to make a video and get it all on camera. But yeah, so besides that, some other stuff has happened since then. Not going to dwell on it, but unfortunately somebody decided to break into my vehicle, and I had a box of knives in there that was stolen. Kind of a bummer, but at the same time, I'm over it at this point. And if you are getting ready to comment, oh well, you shouldn't have left them in your truck, well, just think about this. It was my stuff inside of my truck, which was locked, and I didn't give anybody permission to go in there. So justifying somebody else's shitty actions, not cool either. Spare me the comment if you're thinking about typing it. But anyway, I wanted to show you some of the new Tucson stuff first that I've gotten. Since pretty much my entire top 20 was taken, I have had to rebuy some of the ones that I really liked, and I've gotten some other new stuff. So I'll go through them kind of quick here. First one, I actually can't remember the number on this guy, but very neat little knife. This is the double detent flipper thing. I believe it's a Jan Xanadu design, S90V, but interesting little knife. It takes a bit to get the flip right, but once you do, it's a pretty fidget-friendly little knife. It's kind of an interesting little thing. I don't know that I would use it for anything, but interesting design. Basically, there's a detent ball on both sides of the blade, and it gives it just enough to hold in place, open or shut. So that's number one. Second one that I got in that I wanted to show you, this is a Jelly Jerry design. This is the TS225. I believe it's the Xerxes, Xerxes or something. Pretty neat knife, actually. I wasn't sure if I was going to like it or not, but I kind of do. It's got a lot going for it. Kind of has stone washed on the flats and down in the groove here. It's got a really neat looking blade shape to it, and just overall, it's a pretty cool knife. It's got a great clip on it. Some of the downsides to this one, kind of got the cutouts right here, right under the pocket clip, so I don't know how easy this one's going to go, you know, in and out of your pocket. And then the only other thing is this second finger bump here, and that might line up perfect for some people, but as it sits, it's kind of right in my ring finger there. So cool knife. It's very grip specific, I think, for who it's going to be comfortable for, but would not be difficult to shave that and kind of just eliminate that last finger bump. So I would put this one on the list of good ones to modify if you were going to customize it and do some stuff to it. I would probably take the Dremel and remove that last finger bump, and honestly, it would be really awesome if it didn't have that there. So, TS225. This one is the TS256. And while I'm not normally somebody who likes slip joint knives, when this one first came out, and understand, I've had it for a while now, I just haven't gotten around to making a video, but I'm actually pretty sure I got the first one that they listed. I got it because it was different. This is actually M398 steel, and this is Tucson's first go-round with M398, which, reading a little bit about it, it's supposed to be kind of an upgrade from the M390. So this one and actually the 225 are getting sent out to a buddy of mine, and I will let him make the determination, see how this stuff holds up. I'm not sure if this will be a heavy user for him or not, but yeah, I thought it was cool. Always neat to get something different. It's a surprisingly comfortable little knife, actually. If you're into slip joints, this is a cool one. The blade shape kind of messes with me on a optical illusion type level. It looks like it's got a curve this way, but it's honestly it's not. If you look at it this way, it does not recurve back. It just looks like that. Once you see the grind and the way that curve is, it kind of messes with your optics there. But cool knife overall by Night Morning Design. I believe the TS256. Don't quote me on that one though. And then I also got this guy, which I've been kind of holding off for a while on getting this one. But when I got the TS261, I absolutely loved it. Unfortunately, that one, again, was taken, and I'm waiting for another one to come in. But decided to get the TS134, the Shockwave by Tepe Design. And some people have said, oh, it's kind of small, it doesn't feel good in your hand. I actually kind of like this one a lot. I like the 261 better, but this is good. There's honestly nothing that I don't like about this knife, except for the fact that it doesn't have a lanyard hole, which would kind of keep me from carrying it regularly. But overall, it's a kind of a nice knife. I think the 261 is an upgrade from this one, but it is a cool knife. The TS134 Shockwave, this one is in M390, and they are still numbered. This is number 338 in titanium. And at the same time I got that one, I decided to get this one also, which is also the TS134, but it comes with wooden scales. And when I got it, I was kind of thinking this would be a good candidate to redo the scales and do my own handles for it. But when I got it, the wood is pretty nice on it as it comes. I mean, it's not perfect. There's some little imperfections to the wood. It's, you can tell it was cut by machine and just oiled it or whatever their kind of natural finish is. So it's not perfect. I mean, I could definitely put some new handles on, and but I was kind of surprised at the wood that they used. It looks like a variety of koa, like an Asian koa of some kind. I know there's different, or acacia, I'm sorry. There's different varieties, and they kind of have cool grain stuff going on with them, so I don't know exactly what they use. They list this as being burl, which I would say this is not a burl from my experience, but anybody who knows exactly what kind of wood they use, I would love to hear it. Drop it in the comments. But this one is pending for some Hawaiian curly koa scales. And this is another one that I was kind of thinking the same thing. It's why I decided to get this one. I, again, can't remember the number on this one, but this is snake wood on the handle. And when I saw that it's, kind of removable handle, so it was my intention. But again, when I got it, the wood that's on here is pretty nice. They did a nice kind of a lacquer finish on it, and it's got, looks like brass liners to it, or copper liners in it. It looks like, yeah, I think that's brass liners in there. But very nice overall. It's super comfortable in your hand. This would be a great, camp knife for cooking, kitchen work, or whatever. The only thing, personally, I think might have made this a nicer look overall would be to not have that rounded part at the front and just have that drop straight down. More of a traditional reverse tanto grind rather than having that curve to it. But I guess it's fitting for the design of the knife. So all in all, very nice. I think I paid maybe 65 bucks for this one. So nice fixed blade, and comes with a really nice sheath to it. Holds in there nice and tight. It's not coming out of there, so definitely a nice fixed blade from Tucson. And I think the last of the new Tucson knives that I got is going to be this one. And this is the TS240. This one's been out for a little while, sometime last year I think this one came out. And I like the look of it, I just hadn't gotten around to getting one, but I'm glad I did. This is a really nice knife, and this would honestly be on my list of ones that I could see carrying. Again, with not having a lanyard, but the rest of the knife is really nice. That's, again, the only downfall on this one for me personally, as far as carrying it. And I don't put a lanyard on for decoration or anything. I honestly just do it so I can grab the knife out of my pocket without looking and without thinking about it. And, you know, aside from that, this knife is perfect for me. It's got everything going for it. This is in their Sandvik steel. Came in nice shape. Really no scratching to this one. It's got this really nice rounded, contoured titanium handle to it. So, really cool knife overall. The TS240. So, that's the new Tucson stuff that I've got. Some of the other new arrivals here. I got this one in trade from somebody off Instagram. This is the Boker Stout. And again, I just like the shape of it overall. I wasn't sure how it was going to be, but I traded him for it, and it's pretty nice. It's a hefty chunker of a knife. Can definitely see why it's called the Stout. It is stainless steel handle, so this sucker has some weight to it. I don't have a scale with me today, but it's a heavy sucker. Big knife, really right up my alley. Now, it is not the most comfortable thing to grip overall, just because of the way they have these edges done. They're not rounded over. They're kind of, they're polished and everything. It's smooth, but it comes to a pretty steep edge there, and you can feel it when you grip this thing hard. This would not be good for, heavy repeated work, but I think this one could easily be modified and rounded over everywhere that it needs it and make this into a very cool knife. So I was happy with it for sure. I think I don't know, maybe around 60 or 70 bucks for this guy, but it's cool. I like it. Another one that I wanted to show you guys, and this is going to get into something else that I want to start talking about here, but the direction I'm headed forward, I haven't forgotten about you guys. Part of why I decided to just take kind of a break here from making videos was I was going to be doing a giveaway. That was, what I was talking about in my last video, and I had 3 knives that were almost completely finished. I had the Koa finished on them for the most part. They happened to be in that box that got taken, so that was a bummer, and I just hadn't gotten back around to making some new stuff for the giveaway, so I just decided not to make any videos for a little while. But one of the ones that I did just finish up is this one, and I thought about doing this one for a little while. I love this knife. Overall, this is one of my 2 favorite Ganzo knives. This is the Adamante Skyman, and had the carbon fiber on it. A lot of people say, oh, it's not symmetrical, with the stainless on one side, and I understand that, but it looks really nice from this side. So I don't know. If anybody has any suggestions on something that you could do to the stainless side to maybe darken it, or I'm not sure, but I wanted to do the insert on it. It's got this nice big wide flat area, so I thought it came out cool. But anyway, the Adamante Skyman. And another one that I had been thinking about doing for a while, and I just hadn't gotten around to it, was this one, the TS162. Definitely going to be making some inserts for this, but I have kind of a dilemma, and I figure I'll put it out in the comments for you guys to leave your thoughts on it here. I have this piece of koa that, long story short, after my truck was broken into, I made a posting on Facebook, and a lot of people responded in my area, and a guy actually wrote to me and said, hey, look, I feel bad your stuff got stolen. Would you like some koa? I said, sure, man, that's awesome. Absolutely. So I went to meet up with him. Super nice guy. Absolutely was just blown away by his generosity. He gave me some of the coolest looking pieces of koa. Just amazing looking stuff. And one of the pieces is this guy. And it is not much to look at like this, but if you give me 1 second, get it wet here, and you can see what the grain is going to be on this one. That is just a phenomenal looking piece. So I was thinking what I was going to do with this one, and it's come down to either going on this one or possibly redoing the scales on the Berg. It's just big enough to do this one. I've wanted to redo this one since I did it the first time. I had this piece of blonde koa that I used when I made this one, and I don't know, it's okay, but I wanted something a little bit darker, something a little bit more interesting with the grain, so I had been wanting to redo this one anyway. This one's on my list, but what do you guys think? Should it go onto the 162 or onto the Berg? So I'll leave that kind of up to you guys in the comments. Let me know what you think. But moving along, that's actually something that I wanted to talk to you guys about also. I know when I put out my video, shoot, it was New Year's last year, I had done a Swiss Army knife with some koa. And I remember saying in that video that I wish I could make one for everybody, because that really would be nice instead of just having one to give away. I really wanted to be able to make a bunch of them. Well, since I made my last video, I have kind of come to the conclusion that that's where I'm headed. I really wanted to start turning out more of these, and my incredibly supportive wife has kind of helped me out and decided to get a CNC router. She got that for me for Christmas, and I am going to start cutting these guys out a little bit more than just one at a time here, and be able to have them available if anybody's interested, not just the Victorinox stuff, but to be able to cut any kind of knife handles, really. So still need to learn how to run the thing properly, but I think a CNC router is definitely something that I am going to get some use out of. But these are some of the ones that I've done by hand in the last couple of weeks, and I came to an amazing discovery. Part of my issue with doing these was the finish on them, and I was trying for the longest time to get this look, this really nice glassy look to them, and still have it be durable enough that you can put this thing in your pocket. Polyurethane is not a good option, and I just want to put it out there to anybody who has one of my original iterations of this. If it's looking beat up, if it's scratched, if it's not looking nice, contact me, let me know. Feel free to send it back to me. After discovering this finish, I will never go back to polyurethane, and this one is amazing. This is cyanoacrylate as a finish, or trade name Crazy Glue. Amazing stuff to work with. It is exactly what I was looking for. It dries rock hard. I mean, it's really difficult to even scratch this stuff once you get a finish on here. It takes a bunch of coats. You got to layer this stuff really thick. I've experimented with a bunch of different methods to get it thick enough to embed the shield here and really get it to the point where I can wet sand it and polish it and buff it out. But now that I've kind of got my method down, Crazy Glue is the ticket for this application. I am firmly convinced. So this will be on all of mine going forward, and I'm a lot happier with it. Feel much more confident being able to give this to somebody and not just have it be something that you can look at, but also throw it in your pocket. Not going to matter if it's banging against your keys. It's very, very durable finish. So I was really excited to discover this over the last couple of months here. But that's where we're headed with Victorinox stuff. And just for fun, let me show you some of the other stuff that I've gotten recently. I have scored a few auction lots since my last video, and the treasure hunt is why I do it. There's just always something cool in the lot that you're not expecting, that when you go and pick it up, it's not what you were thinking, or it's in, brand new condition or whatever. So I have gotten some really cool stuff in the last couple of months out of the auction stuff. And let me show you a couple of them. I won't go through all of them. I mean, it's a massive load of stuff, but here's one that, again, I'm not really a traditional knife guy, but this one was floating around in an auction lot of some other traditional stuff, and these are like Winchesters and, I think a Red Deer Chinese knockoff. Again, I'm not really a traditional knife guy, but I didn't think any of those were really worth anything to anybody. But this one was in there. Nice case, amber bone Stockman. So it's kind of a cool score. Another one that was interesting, and I figured I had to show it on camera. This is the Wild Thing. And I didn't name it that. It actually came named Wild Thing. So I don't know who's missing this, but if you're watching this video and you are the previous owner of Wild Thing and you would like to have it back in your possession, just write to me. I'd be more than happy to send this back to you. If you happen to lose it at the Honolulu airport, I'm not sure why you would have had it in your carry-on bag, but anyway, again, public service announcement: when you go to the airport, take your knives out of your pockets, put them in your check bag, or leave them at home, or else Wild Thing is going to get confiscated, and that's just sad. I'm sure somebody's missing this guy. This is a Puma. I mean, it's a pretty wild thing. Surprisingly comfortable little fixed blade knife, though. It's got this very interesting piece of stag that fits my hand perfectly. So anyway, that's the Wild Thing. And some of the other stuff here. I mean, I have gotten loads of multi-tools, a bunch of Leatherman stuff, but one that I thought that was kind of interesting was this guy here. This is the SOG Power Lock, and I tried carrying this for probably a month and a half. I do usually carry a Leatherman. Now, I carry a Leatherman Wave on my belt in a sheath, and I thought that my Leatherman was in that box of stuff that was stolen, so I was carrying this one afterward. I got this in an auction lot. Really nice multi-tool. It's kind of a gear-driven type opening, so it feels a lot different in your hand than a Leatherman. The only problem is the access to the tools is just not great. It does have a very cool tool set to it, but the access to get into here is not good. So let's see what else is in here. I mean, it's got a decent saw. It's got a nice file. This pokey thing. So that's this side. But the other side has a very interesting tool that I'm not sure why nobody else does this or uses this implement. Here's a strap cutter, but that's not what I'm thinking. Bottle opener, again, not what I'm thinking. This tool right here. This accepts a 1/4 inch socket. Any 1/4 inch drive socket will fit on here. So I thought that was interesting. Again, overall, it's alright, but it's kind of cumbersome, and it's certainly not one-hand user-friendly. So I am not going to continue carrying this guy because, lo and behold, I was digging through a box of stuff and happened to find my Leatherman Wave that I thought was stolen. So that was kind of a nice little bonus a couple of nights ago. Ended up finding this and thought it was long gone. So that's that. And the other one that I thought was pretty interesting. After my truck was broken into, I think there's probably 35 knives in the box that was taken, and surprisingly, that was one of a few boxes of knives. So I guess I had more than whatever cretin came and decided to go in my truck. I guess it was more than he could carry, so he just took the box that was on top. Unfortunately, it was my top 20 on top, which sucks, but I put out a post again in Facebook in the Stolen Stuff Hawaii page, and somebody contacted me and said, hey, look, I think I saw somebody selling your stuff, and blah, blah, blah. Back and forth, back and forth. Long story short, was kind of bummed. I was really thinking about it, said a little prayer, and was just hoping in my mind that whoever took that box of knives, that at the very least, that when they opened it up and realized what it was, that it at least brought them some kind of joy into their life. I don't know what their situation is, and I don't know what they're going through, but if that feeling of, oh my gosh, look at all this stuff, it probably felt like Christmas morning to that person, whoever it was that took it. So I was trying to at least, put that out there to, hope it brought some joy into their life, even though it was a shitty situation. And lo and behold, the next day, I was contacted, and somebody said that she was able to get back one of my knives. And I was just blown away. I didn't expect to ever see any of them again. The police department out here is, they're not very good at tracking stuff down, if you know what I mean. But anyway, yeah, she contacted me and said somebody was selling this, so she ended up getting it, and I had to buy it back from her. But the one that she got back, of all the knives that were in that box, was the one that I just, not only did I not expect to see it again, but I didn't think I would be able to replace it, was this one. One of the orcas actually found its way back to me. So, was pretty surprised at that. I'm glad to have it back. I guess this one really liked me a lot. Yeah, so this made its way back to me. So it was kind of cool. But other than that, I, again, just moved on and started getting some other stuff. And one of the other ones that is kind of sentimental to me as far as knives go is this one. And I'm glad that this one wasn't taken. I don't usually bring this one with me, but this is a Benchmade 722 that my dad gave me before I left the house. I've had this thing probably 20 some years, and it shows. And I don't carry it anymore. It's kind of, retired at this point, but I've been looking for another one, and I've seen it here and there. They pop up on eBay every once in a while. I was trying to get another one just so I'd have, one that I didn't feel bad about carrying. And in one of the auction lots, I could see it. I could see a picture of it. I knew what it was, and it's not exact, but this is also a Benchmade 722. This one is the aluminum handles versus the G10, and of course has the stonewash blade rather than their black coated one, but very cool to be able to get it. So I was happy about that. This was a great score from the auction, and as cool as it was, my awesome wife decided to, again, for Christmas, get me probably one of the nicest gifts. Was this guy. And this came from a guy in Canada. He had the identical match 722 Benchmade, and it's in really great condition. You can tell he carried it a little bit just from the scratches on the pocket clip, but very cool. So finally got my replacement 722, so I might start carrying this one again. It's not exactly my style, but for 15 years this is what I had in my pocket. This was like my first real decent knife. You know, I had had some CRKTs and stuff like that, but this was like my first real good knife. And, you know, I beat it to death. I use this knife for everything, and it just took all the abuse that I could throw at it. I've never opened it up. I've never taken this knife apart. No issues with the Omega spring, so I guess, you know, maybe they were built a little bit better back in the day, but very happy and even more excited to finally get an identical Benchmade 722. So that's some of the stuff that I've got going on here. I could keep going. I mean, I've got a ton of other stuff, but I think I'm going to cut this video off. I'm probably at 30 minutes already, so if anybody is still with me, just know I'm sorry I haven't made anything for a little while, but try and get back into the swing of things here. And if you guys want to support me, this is kind of where I'm headed. I have really decided to start making a fair amount of these. I am still going to be doing a giveaway, so I'm not quite sure what yet, but I've got some ideas, and I am going to really just start trying to crank out some more of these guys. Now that I've got my method dialed in, and I feel good about the way that they're coming out, if you guys are interested, let me know. I'd be more than happy to talk to you about it, and I certainly have plenty of different Swiss Army knives that I could put them on still, or if you've got one that you'd like me to do, let me know. But other than that, appreciate you guys watching, and yeah, see you at the next video. Thanks.